going on, everybody? We're Brown here. Welcome back to the channel, guys. So the video that I have for you guys today is something just a little bit different. As you can see, I am inside a map, which is my current map that I'm working on. You wouldn't know that because I've never really given you the official tour. It's very, very blank, as you can see. Um, I promise I've been working on it. It's just very slow. See, there's a little bit down here in the city, right? So there's some stuff going on. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. I'll give you a tour of that at some point. But anyhow, we are inside of Giants Editor for a specific reason. And that's because I want to show you nothing. And I'll explain myself in a minute. All right. Trust me, in a minute, it'll make a little bit of sense. I promise it will. All right. So for those of you guys who have been paying attention, you will notice that as of yesterday, the 9th of November, Giants did roll out the patch 1.13.1. Is it point one? I believe so. And that is in preparation for the premium expansion that's coming out. Is it the premium expansion? Let's have a look here. Let me pull up my browser. I believe it's the premium expansion. Forget what they're calling it these days. Yeah, premium expansion. There we go. All right, so it is 1.13.1 that is in preparation for the premium expansion pack that is coming out on the 14th of November, which is a Tuesday. I believe 4 days away, right? So we're getting close. Hope everybody's getting excited for that. Anyhow, each time that Giants does this, they roll out some kind of major update. This one, I don't know if it's as major. I mean, it's a premium expansion, so it sounds big. There's a lot of equipment involved with it. There's honestly a lot going on, but it's not quite as big as the last one, right? When we came into when Giants Editor was updated to 9.0.4, there was a lot going on there. And keeping with tradition, they definitely broke things, and I'm not quite sure we can expect that to happen this time. Like I said, if they keep with tradition, 100% it's going to happen. But you know what? I don't know. I really don't know. But anyhow, what the point I was trying to make there is each time they come out with an update, they do update the Giants Editor. Okay. And the last one, 9.0.4, was a big update. I was super excited about that. And I'm typically excited every time, a new editor comes out. So what we are looking at here now, besides this being my current map, we are in 9.0.6. Yes, that's right. So they did release the new version of Giants Editor. It's out there. So make sure that you go over and you grab a copy. All right. So if you go over to the Giants Developer Network, you can get it there. That's gdn.giants-software.com. You do need to be registered and logged in to be able to download or to do pretty much anything on this site. So if I go ahead and log in, we can go up to downloads. And the very first thing you see on the list there is Giants Editor 9.0.6. All right, so let me skip around here for a little bit. If you read the entry for the 1.13.1, it will tell you that the editor is out, and it says that it's version 9.0.5 right here. New Giants Editor 9.0.5 is needed for map modding. So something must have gone wrong there. Because we're already at 9.0.6. And if you read the changelog, you can see that it was out for just the shortest period. They must have had some kind of issue with it and immediately launched a new version the same day. So like I said, that's kind of Giants. Every time something comes out, it's never painless, ever. But anyhow, back to the editor. And this is mostly what I'm focusing on because, we make maps on this channel. If you guys want, you can go on over and, you can read up on this and it'll tell you any of the new additions for the changelog, for the patch, for the 1.13. Just added the firefighting suit. And I'm sure by now that you have seen that there is the emergency pack. You can get this is available on ModHub. So make sure you get over to ModHub and grab a copy of that. Give it a go, play around with it. It's capable of a lot. I watched a couple of videos on it already, as I'm sure you have yourself. And it looks interesting. Looks really fun. If you're into the role play thing, I think these guys are really going to get a kick out of that. All right. So you can grab the new firefighting suit as well. That comes with the premium expansion, I believe. So that's going to be fun. Something I think that is kind of neat here. I see farming simulator for kids coming soon. That's pretty neat. I like to see Giants spread their wings a little bit. do something a little bit different. I'm not, maybe not my cup of tea, but I do have little ones, as I'm sure most of you guys do, or some of you guys. Um, so you never know. I think it's kind of cool. My kids can get a kick out of it. So, there you go. So farming simulator for kids, and yeah, you never know. Maybe you will get bored enough where you'll want to play. I picked this one up this morning. It is the the Case International, the IH Farmall Anniversary Pack. I picked that one up, although I have not had a chance to play around with it yet. But anyhow, I am getting very much off track here. So, like I said, Tuesday on the 14th of this month, you can expect the premium expansion to be released. It's going to roll out across, um, consoles, PCs, across everything. And like I said, the new Giants editor is here, 9.0.5. Now, the reason that I said I wanted to show you nothing is because that's pretty much what you're getting with this new version. It's sad, I know, very very sad, uh, especially after 9.0.4. They had some really great updates in there. I was so happy to see it, and it's just not that way in this one. Unfortunately, I really don't have anything to show you. They changed the toolbar slightly. You may or may not notice, but that's kind of it. Like I said, they have to do the update because you need it to work hand in hand with Giants, with the game engine for the new update, and that's one of the reasons that I think nothing's really going to break because nothing's that drastically different. You seen last time we had shader issues. There were some pretty significant changes, that things weren't quite working right, but I have seen no hiccups whatsoever inside of the editor so far. On a related note, speaking of the editor, when you're over at the Giants Developer Network, um, the nothing else really looks like it was updated. Although it's come to my attention that these guys are unaware of some things. One, this AGI pack. Make sure you grab this. The SDK. There is placeables inside of there that you can be using for your maps. So make sure you grab a copy of that. I even think I have. Let me see where my downloads is. Oh yeah, right here, Sentinel Garage. All right, so these are all placeables for your new map, or not for your new map, for any map that you have. But you can use these. This is all part of the AGI pack. And I was talking with somebody recently, and they had no clue that this was available. Okay, and that's not working. Why? This is not going to be my day. I can tell. It's just shaping up to be that way. Yeah, something. You know what? It's because the buttons on my mouse are not working. It is going to drive me crazy. Yeah, see, it's just Z. It's not Control Z. How do I get my buttons back? I'm lost without them. Looks like I'm going to have to fix my other mouse again. I'm not so sure about this Razer. I didn't like it in the beginning. I was kind of but then I got used to it and I really enjoyed it. But then I miss my old one. I do. But anyhow, like I said, make sure when you're over there that you grab a copy of the AGI SDK because there are placeables inside of there that you can use. There's all sorts of good stuff in there. So, give it a good look and see what it's all about. I don't know why I felt like I needed to mention that, but I did. I did look through this, and like I said, there's really nothing has changed outside of the new editor. And oh yeah, and the that's something else. The Blender exporter. Now this isn't recent, like within the last couple of days or so. As a matter of fact, the date on here is like 6 months ago. Yeah, I don't know if it's really maybe I'm that far behind. But anyhow, up to one point, the only exporter plugin we had for Blender was the 9.0.1, which only got us up to Blender version 2.9. Anything above that, like Blender 3 and above, it just didn't work. You could not use that exporter tool. All right, so now, not now. Apparently, this is man. I just don't know if it's been there 6 months. Maybe I really haven't checked in that long. But anyhow, with this new 9.1.0, you can now export from Blender 3.0 and above, which is great news, right? So, if you have all the newest plugins and stuff that you can only use on 3.0, now you're able to, work on your models and your prefabs and, whatever you have going on inside of Blender, you can do that in version 3.0 and above and be able to export from there. All right. So Let me kick myself over to the README. Now, this README here is this is the changelog for the new Giants editor, and you can see that 9.0.6, they fixed the flickering wireframe rendering. I am guessing that is the issue they had when when they released 9.0.5. All right, so you can see a changelog here for 9.0.5, which is the exact same date. Yeah. So, like I said, they released it on the very same day. Um, as a matter of fact, is that right? You know what? I might be looking at the dates wrong, right? Because it's the whole European thing here. So it's 11/9, not 9/11. It's not September 11th. It's November 9th. So if I look over here for the exporter, so yeah, okay, it might have been last month, right? It might have been the 10th or the 5th of last month, right? Yeah. So September or October 5th. Yeah, okay. So that is fairly recent then, right? October 5th of 2023. So I wasn't wrong, right? So that Blender exporter is fairly recent. Sorry, it's a slow day for me. Don't pick on me. I just kind of realized that I was not looking at the date right. All right, anyhow, back to what I was talking about 9.0.5. They added support for Farming Simulator 22, patch 1.13.1, which is what we're expecting on Tuesday. Well, not the patch. The patch is already out. We're just for the premium expansion. Fix painting terrain, complex texture layers with less than 4 layers. If you say so. All right. I've never had the issue, but maybe you have, and maybe this is great news for you. They reorganized the toolbars. The grid options are now part of the gizmo instead of the terrain. Hooray for that. Added all FS22 weather condition flag names. There you go. That is it. That's the extent of our update. And like I said, man, it was just when 9.0.4 came out, there was just so much to be happy about and to be excited for. And yeah, I guess it's kind of a little bit of a letdown. But anyhow, let's go back over to looking at the what is available now for the expansion pack and what can we be looking at, like what significant changes. All right, so we have the firefighting suit. Obviously, that's neither here nor there. Bug fixes, adjustments on the Kroger PWO 24, and increased available wheel configurations. Yeah, I don't know if that really affects us as map modders. Fixed issues with mod updates if the game has not been restarted. Okay. Arena mode. If anybody plays that, this is applicable to you. I haven't really, honestly, I don't really play at all anymore. All my time is in Blender and it's in the map. And that's kind of where I'm at with things these days, although I am looking to change that relatively soon. So down here to the important part, we get to modding. New Giants Editor 9.0.5, which is now 6, is needed for map modding. That's what affects us. All right, changing the number of angle channels for the fields no longer needs a separate custom shader. Yeah, okay, I didn't really have an issue with that before, but maybe you did. Fixed crashes on maps with empty traffic system. Yeah, I don't know. My traffic system's not usually empty. Maybe it is. When you're starting out, you have an empty traffic system and it crashes. So there you go. That's what we're looking at. Those are the big updates. All right. So it was really nothing with shaders, nothing with textures, nothing that I would really think is a deal breaker. But like I said, I could be wrong. If Giants, maintains, their track record and keeps with tradition, they will definitely break something. And I will be releasing a video in a day or two telling you how to fix that broken thing. But anyhow, fingers crossed that's not going to happen this time. We'll have to wait and see. All right. So like I said, 9.0.6, make sure you go out there and you grab a copy. You're going to need it. Now, I think in the beginning, until your game engine actually updates, until the premium expansion comes out, I don't know if you're really, really going to see a difference. You may not run into any issues at all. But I believe once your game engine updates and you're on the premium expansion, then I definitely think you're going to need to be on 9.0.6, or you may or may not run into some type of issue. I mean, it did say you're going to need the newer version, so that's kind of the way that works. So a couple days from now, if you're having issues, that is why. It's because you have not yet updated your Giants editor. So make sure to get that done so you can keep working on your projects. And I don't know, not sure what I wanted to say there. So just make sure you do it. Alrighty. So, like I said, that was kind of the news on that front as far as, the premium expansion, the 1.13.1 patch that has come out. New Giants editor, make sure you get that, get the AGI SDK so you can play around with that. And also make sure that you download the latest exporter plugin for Blender. Outside of that, a couple things that I've noticed recently, kind of been a little bit of a discussion. You may have seen a little bit of this on some of the farming channels. Um, is some of the new releases that have been out have been just very disappointing. And by that, I mean, the maps that have been out. There's some truly, truly great maps out there. And then there's some that are not. A couple of them specifically came up recently that have just been it's been a major letdown. And I can't stress enough to you guys to do proper testing on your map, to get your friends involved, get somebody else to play your map, give you a second opinion, right? If it doesn't look good to them and it doesn't look good to you, it's not going to look good to anybody else. Get somebody to give you a second opinion. Check your error logs. For God's sakes, check your error logs. Any warnings and errors should absolutely never be there, especially if you're uploading to Giants, to the mod hub. Now, I put part of that fault is on Giants. That should not be getting through Giants with errors and warnings. So I think, Giants is slipping a little bit on that respect. But as a map modder, you should not be on that level. It's sad to see, especially some of the ones that I'm referring to. Now, I'm not going to point fingers or name names. But anyhow, the people that are making these mistakes and putting out, and I hate to say it, but the work is not good at all. It's very, very sad to see, and these people should know better. They put themselves in a position where other people look to them for answers, and they should be leading by example, right? Your work should speak for itself. It should be it should be up there. No errors, no anything. So that might be a lesson to everybody to kind of watch, who you're learning from, and that's always been a problem. You get these younger guys out there, they learn a few things, and they're able to do a few things within editor, and get something that resembles a map. And all of a sudden, it's tutorial videos, and they're teaching other people how to make the same mistakes that they're making. Like I said, I don't want to point any fingers because everybody means well, right? And it's they got the best of intentions, and it's one thing that's lacking in this community is proper tutorials, right? So I can't fault anybody for that. I really can't. It's having the best intentions is great, but you really, really, really need to know what the heck you're doing. If not, you're just promoting the amount of garbage that is out there. And I can see that ripple effect happening already. People are putting out this half-ass work, and they're just uploading it to the mod hub. And that's, as a community, we're getting stuck, with these garbage maps and garbage mods that are out there. Because that's where the community is at right now. You got these guys out there doing videos and stuff that, I mean, not necessarily videos, but just tutorials, and they don't realize, they think they know, but they don't realize that they're making mistakes themselves, that they're doing things not the proper way, right? And they're teaching other people how to do things improperly, right? So they're promoting bad habits, they're promoting bad work, and it's reflecting on a community. We can see the result of that now. So for God's sakes, guys, if you're following along with any of my tutorials, please, please, please start, troubleshooting and doing some quality assurance type work. Make sure that you're thoroughly testing your maps, that you're not putting these things out there with any type of errors or warnings. It should never ever happen, right? So getting that out of the way, now that I touched on that, that's some of the bad work that's out there. That brings me to my next subject is I would like to know from you guys what you would like to see as far as tutorials. Now, I know that I'm very, very far behind on my videos. It's just kind of is what it is. Life sort of happened. But I'm trying to rearrange things to the point where, hopefully things will pick back up and we can get back on the ball with things here. Now we did get the beginner tutorial series is been finished for a while. So what I had planned on was hopefully my next series was going to be more of an intermediate series, where we would work on a 4 kilometer map, or for those of you guys who do X's, it's a 4X, instead of your standard, 2 kilometer, which is your standard map. All right, so we'll do, because there are different things that need to be done when you're working on a 4 kilometer. Now, I can't promise we'll go any bigger than that, because once you can scale up to a 4 kilometer, you can scale bigger. It just kind of the way it goes. All right, so we'll get a little bit beyond the basics in the next series. It'll be a shorter series, but still, nonetheless, we're going to go beyond the basics, learn some things that we didn't learn in the previous series. Somewhere after that, we will go even one step further. Maybe I'll show you how to expand a current 2 kilometer map. So maybe taking like Elm Creek and converting that over, to a 4 kilometer, right? So that's something that everybody wanted to know about. I don't see a lot of it. I know a lot of people have tried and failed, and it's a little tricky. So there are some things that I can show you on how to pull that off successfully. So we can do a series on that. I can also do more of an advanced series where something like this, where you're going to be taking a real terrain with real height data, and you're going to be recreating an area that exists somewhere out there in the world, and I will show you plenty of tips and tricks and ways to speed up the process. And what you're looking at here, right? This it's sad to say, but this was done in basically a weekend, right? So they get the fields laid down, the roads are all marked in, everything is taken care of as far as textures and this background that you see here. So that was all done in just a few days. It's super duper quick. What's taken me the longest is fleshing everything out, right? Laying down the actual roads, going through Spline Street Constructor or Blender. I've been creating a lot of models. This is definitely going to be more of a custom map than I've ever done before, and it's a painfully slow process. But to get the map up to the point where I'm fleshing it out, right, where I'm starting to lay down all my put in my trees and my grass and coloring, just coloring things in. I got to that point relatively quick, so I can definitely show you guys how to get some things done, you know, quickly. Right. So that'll be part of the advanced series. All right. So those are 3 different series I have planned there. And speaking of Blender, that would be also another series that I have in mind. So if you guys are interested, now Blender, I'm still, I've like everybody else, I'm still learning. All right. So it's something that just I kind of had that light bulb go off recently where things made much more sense recently. I've been spending a lot of time with it. And like I said, I am no guru, not even close to being a guru. But I definitely know enough that I can get you guys, at least up to speed where you're making your own models and then you can kind of take it from there. All right. So if you're interested in that, maybe we can do some kind of mini course where we can build our own placeable, our own prefab. But I'm relatively sure I can get you guys, at least if you're having any kind of problems with Blender, I can get you to the point where you're at least comfortable enough to make your own model, working with textures and stuff like that. And it'll all be applicable to FS22, right? So, especially like your parallax textures with your maps and stuff like that. I will show you how to implement all that, how to texture everything properly, have it optimized for the map, good to go, no problems. So if that's something that you're interested in, learning Blender for map making, that is definitely something that I have on the agenda. Okay, so outside of that, in the comments, please let me know things that you are interested in. What types of things would you like to see some sort of video on that I can help you guys out? I need some food for thought here. I need some ammunition. All right. So, these series take a little bit of time. They take a lot of time, actually. And it's one thing that I just don't have. So sometimes if I can have some filler videos, just, quick, this is how you do this or this is how you do that. I'd like to have a small list of things that I can work on in between these bigger tutorial projects. Alrighty. So that's about all I have to say about that. Right. So that's my plans for the future. Anyhow. And this, my current map, although it says Merritt County up here, this is not Merritt County. This is a place called Palmer. Palmer, Kansas. It's in Washington County, Kansas. All right. And that's, like I said, I am recreating this from, oh, you can see matter of fact, here, I'll give you a quick look here. If you look at this base layer that I have here, right? So this is what the area looks like. Okay. This is the area in a nutshell. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this visibility on and off, right? And you can see just how closely, right, that this is patterned after the original. I mean, it is nuts on exact. I mean, very, very exact. All right. And this is something that I'll show you guys how to do, in the advanced version, right? Where we'll start getting into a lot of this stuff. Whoa, what is going on up there? I'm really goofing things up here. This darn button's not working. All right. You can see I have a lot of custom models in here that are not available through Giants. And it's all stuff that, I felt that we needed, or I needed, because they are part of the original location. All right. So a lot of it's not done yet. You can see all these white areas. That stuff just isn't done. But it's looking good. Right. So things are starting to turn out. Just a very slow process. And if you're interested into, getting into all of this type of stuff, let me know. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys are interested in, what you want to learn. And we'll get into it. Alrighty. So like I said, you guys have fun, make sure you enjoy the premium expansion that's coming out relatively soon, and get everything that, you need to do, get everything that you need to be ready for that expansion, as far as Giants Editor 9.0, 0.6, and, all that other good stuff. Alrighty. So like I said, I'm sorry about rambling on in that video. It was just a few things I wanted to get out of the way and touch on. And with that being said, I'm Bauer Brown, and I'll see you on the next one.